here to help your children spread their wings and fly through life. So let's look at emotions and their social skills. Now, right from when they're little, when you smile at them, when they're tiny babies and the first time they smile back at you, it's such a precious moment. It's so beautiful. And that is your first social interaction with your child. That's the very first social thing that you're doing with your baby, is smiling at them and them smiling back. Isn't that wonderful to think of that? So as they get a little bit older, you need to teach them what is okay and what's not okay. You're not allowed to hit. You're not allowed to pinch. It's not okay. It's not appropriate. It doesn't matter what wording you use. I used to use, it is not appropriate. No, not appropriate. And then when they were 4, they were coming back to me going, not appropriate, Mummy, not appropriate, when I was telling them to do something. But it doesn't matter what word you use, as long as the meaning is that you aren't to do that. So it's not okay, it's not appropriate, any of that terminology is fine. They will like to start to interact with other kids, and it's okay, but make sure that you're supervising that interaction so that if it gets a little bit heated, that you can come in and help them navigate through that disagreement. It's helping them to navigate through these disagreements that really forms the main part of their emotional stability and their emotional understanding as they're growing up until the ages of 4 and 5. By the time they hit 4 years of age, they will have been through the terrible 2s and the terrifying 3s, and then they get up to the ferocious 4s. And I found that my kids were worse at 4 than they were at 2. Some of the tantrums were far worse at 4 than they were at 2. But by the time they got to 4, they sort of started to understand the difference between happy and sad, angry, frustrated. They could name these emotions, and that's what's really important, is to be able to name them. Sometimes what we do is we look at different colours. So red is angry, and you could say, are you in the red zone? Or are you in the red room? And we used to talk about rooms that you go into. Are you in your red room at the moment? You feel tight in the tummy, you feel all tense, you feel like screaming. That's your red room. And we don't like being in our red room. We need to move into our green room. And then in our green room, we're happy and we feel relaxed and we're ready to work. And then in our blue room, we feel sad and like we're crying, or we're frustrated. So these emotions actually get associated with a colour, and then you go into the different room that you feel. And that way you can actually get the kids to metaphorically think of walking out of their red room and into their green room. And it gives them a better understanding of how to calm themselves down and then become the happy and outgoing little people that we know that they are. So not only do they need to be able to name their emotions and associate a colour with their emotions, they also need to be able to understand body language of other people. So the look on their face, that's angry, or if they're sad, or they're happy, or they're excited. So all of these body languages that we use are really important that the children understand. That a smile means happy, that a frown means angry or frustrated, that putting your hands across your chest means that you're really angry and stay away from those sorts of people. Hands on hips means that you need to do what that person is saying. That if they're really excited and they're jumping up and down and they feel like butterflies in their tummy, all those sorts of feelings need to be associated with a name and with an emotion so that they can see what other people are actually feeling. And it's important that they understand the body language of pets as well. Now, you can go on YouTube, they've got quite a lot of information on pets and how pets show their body language. For instance, dogs, if they're wagging their tail, it means that they're happy. If they've got their hackles up at the back of their, on their back, that means that they're angry. If their ears are down, they're angry. If a cat's all hunched over, it's angry. Especially showing them what an angry dog or cat looks like is great, because that means you've got to stay away. Or a happy cat or a happy dog, so that they can also, when they're interacting with animals, they can understand what those animals are feeling. It's associating the body language with the feeling, with the name, that makes all the difference for these children to be socially, emotionally adapt. If they can understand these three aspects, then they will have a much easier life when they're going into school. So these years from ages 2 up until 5 are the times that we really need to teach our kids about these sorts of emotions. As part of understanding our emotions, they also need to be able to separate from you. Now, I have had little kids who are 4 years of age who have come to school and they've never been separated from their mother before, and the trauma that happens at school for these little ones is just awful. So it's important that you build into your life some sort of aspect where the kids can go away and be separate from you. Even if it's going over to a grandparent's house and staying there, or for a couple of hours, or going to a friend's house where you know that they'll be supervised and they'll be safe, and you leaving them for a minute. It doesn't work if you're leaving them with your partner or with older siblings, because if someone is living in the same house as you, then they still have that emotional and the emotional connection with the child, and they have that relationship with the child. Going over to grandparents' houses, that's different because it's a different house. And we need to teach our children that it's okay to be separate from us, but then when you come back, that you can have just as much fun together. And this is taught over time from when they're born. Around about 9 months of age, they normally have some sort of separation anxiety. And then from there, they then learn that it's okay to be away from mum. You'll still get fed, you'll still get cared for, you can have lots of fun. So it's okay to be away from mum. So make sure that you build in these opportunities for children to have these experiences a couple of times, so that they, when they get to school, or actually more than a couple of times, really they need it to be regularly, even if it's once a month, but at least regularly, so that they can understand that it's okay to be away from you, because at the end of the day they are going to be away from you. So this needs to be developed between the ages of 3 and 5 years of age. Looking at the social skills of children with others, they need to be able to interact with other children without getting very frustrated and angry. It's important that they share and that they can enjoy each other's company and share each other's toys. It's important that they understand how to solve disagreements and how to problem solve these issues that are going to happen. What is acceptable as far as problem resolution? Hitting, biting, kicking is not acceptable at all. And how they can actually go through this problem solving with other children, how they can guide themselves through it. And that means that you're going to have to show them how to do that. It's really important all the way through their life, right up until they get to young adults, that you coach them as far as how to resolve issues in their emotional and social lives. If they can understand what someone else is feeling and they have empathy for that, that makes a huge difference to how they will interact with others in the future. I'm not saying they need to roll over and let everyone walk over them. They can still be very strong people and get their way, as long as they can do that negotiation with others.
Thank you for watching Modern Successful Parenting. All advice and information given during this course is designed for general use only. If you have any concerns for your child, please seek professional advice as soon as possible. For terms and conditions, see website www.modernsuccessfulparenting.com.au. Thank you.